I'm E-Lightning, and welcome to Sports Storm.
Today we will be doing our Final Four predictions. Now that we are finally into the Final Four predictions. And the first game on the left side of the bracket, the number 2 seed Villanova Wildcats, like I predicted, beat the Kansas Jayhawks. And in our other video, I had them winning their region. And the other winner I had, Oklahoma, also made it to the Final Four, the other 2 seed, knocking off the 1 seed Oregon Ducks. Who do you have winning this marquee matchup?
So, the winner of this, I feel, is probably the most dangerous team in the tournament. Because, they're both rolling 2 seeds, just beat 1 seeds, both very good teams. I'm going to feel like Oklahoma's going to win this. I could see it going Villanova's way just from a momentum standpoint. But I think they both got the momentum. And while Villanova has an up-court presence that is very good, I still feel like Oklahoma has been good defensively pretty good defensively in the low post. And also, you cannot count out Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's going to play great. I think he's proven to us that he will play great on the big moments, as he proved against Oregon and stuff in other games. But I feel like this game will really depend on whether Buddy Hield gets the help that he needs. If Isaiah Cousins steps up, players in the front court grab rebounds, kick it back out, put it back in. I feel like the supporting cast of Oklahoma will determine this matchup, and I'm predicting that they will come through for Buddy Hield and get him to the national title game.
I see Villanova winning this matchup just because Oklahoma relies so much on the 3, and I think Villanova guards the 3 well enough to not necessarily shut down Buddy Hield and Jordan Wood.
Oregon guarded the 3 well enough before they tried guarding Buddy Hield.
Well, the thing about Oregon was their overall defense wasn't as good as Villanova's is right now. Villanova and Oklahoma played each other a while back in the regular season. It was like December-ish, and Oklahoma was at Villanova and just completely blew them out. But back then, Josh Hart was literally the only player that anyone knew on the Villanova roster. But now Arcidiacono steps up, Jalen Brunson, Daniel Achefu, and Chris Jenkins, I think one of the most improved players in all of this tournament, have all been a great supporting cast for Josh Hart and the Wildcats. And I think Jay Wright's coaching experience leads them to a win in this game over the Oklahoma Sooners in the final.
Wait, I have one comment. You say Jay Wright's experience. I'm saying Jay Wright is a good coach. He's my favorite. I think if we had to select Coach of the Year, it would be Jay Wright. But I don't think you should count out Oklahoma. I think his name is like Lon Kruger or something like that. He's taken I think he's the first ever coach to take 5 teams all to the Elite 8 respectively, which is pretty impressive. So he definitely has deep tournament experience. Obviously never been to a Final Four, which Jay Wright has. That's why I give him the edge. But I wouldn't count out Lon Kruger in this matchup.
All right, on to the other side of the bracket, the Syracuse Orange. Everyone. I even had them losing to Dayton in the first round. They've shocked everyone in this tournament.
I had them losing to Michigan State in the second.
Yeah, well, congratulations, you picked Michigan State all the way. But I think really the only reason Syracuse is in this one is because Michigan State was out. I didn't see them beating Michigan State if they did play them in the second round. But I guess they prayed and their prayers were answered. The Michigan State lost and they got to play Middle Tennessee, who they also completely destroyed. And then they win a close one against Gonzaga, and then and Virginia blows a massive lead to Syracuse.
27-4 run. Syracuse went on to take the lead in that.
Malachi Richardson is playing out of his mind. So
they also have Tyler Linden, the freshman.
Yeah, and then Trevor Cooney.
Then they have senior Trevor Cooney.
Exactly. So rising 10 seed in Syracuse takes on what some people believe the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, the North Carolina Tar Heels, with Justin Jackson and Marcus Page, and most importantly Bryce Johnson, the double-double machine. This team came in, won their first round against Florida Gulf Coast, then beat Providence by around 15.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a stat saying North Carolina their average win margin is 14 points. And that's huge compared to all the other teams in the Final Four. So okay, what were you saying?
I'm saying, well, I'm just gonna go ahead here and give my prediction here. I feel like we mentioned earlier, all the players from Syracuse, with Jabinji, Malachi Richardson, all those players, Tyler Linden, Trevor, all those good players. I feel like they're surging right now, and it's the first 10 seed to ever make the Final Four, so this is unprecedented. We don't know. I feel like North Carolina will win the game, but they got to be careful because they cannot get complacent. Complacency is what Syracuse capitalizes on. Also, like, I think they were just kind of like that 10 seed that kind of floated by because of upsets happened. But now with that win over Virginia and how they came back, I really feel like they proved they can actually be a legit team. I mean, beating Dayton, blowing out Middle Tennessee State, and beating Gonzaga, that doesn't really prove much except for the Gonzaga win. Beating the 1 seed on a huge comeback really proves something. I feel like the Tar Heels will win this, but I feel like if they let the moment get a hold of them and they slip, I feel like Syracuse can capitalize on that with Jim Boeheim being one of the best coaches in college basketball. I mean, that's 9-game suspension. After that, they just went full, like Syracuse, turned into the Syracuse we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Syracuse, everyone underrates them because they are a 10 seed, and a lot of people are predicting another massive blowout for the North Carolina Tar Heels. I do think it's going to be a close game. I think I don't think North Carolina is going to go up big right away. I think it's going to be a kind of close game for most of it. I think North Carolina will eventually just kind of extend the lead late in the game like they have every single game they played in the tournament so far. I think Marcus Page is a major factor. But the one major factor for Syracuse is, can Malachi Richardson stay as hot as he has been? He's just been lighting it up from 3. He scored 21 of his 24 points in the second half last game. So they really
clutch player. That's a clutch player.
Yeah. Well, the one thing is, Malachi Richardson, in order for them to win this game, he needs to play at his best the entire game, not just one half, the entire game. And if that doesn't happen, I see North Carolina easily winning this game.
I think if like you said, Malachi Richardson, I think if he puts up 30 points, I think they have a very good chance of winning. Kind of like one of those over/under things, right?
And another thing, they cannot let Bryce Johnson get over.
If they let Bryce Johnson, I think Trevor Cooney and Tyler Linden need to do a good job of handling him, Tyler Hicks, because if they let North Carolina get going on the boards with the putback dunks and stuff, then they have to collapse down low. It leaves Marcus Page, who's been deadly from 3 these past couple of games, to get open. And the last thing you want is a hot front court kicking it out to a hot Marcus Page for 3. That's a recipe for disaster. I think if Syracuse plays Bryce Johnson well, so they can keep their defense spread out, it'll help them immensely.
Yeah, that's the reason I do have North Carolina win is they have Bryce Johnson, who's been playing insane, and Marcus Page, who's been playing insane. Inside-outside threat, I think that's unstoppable. That's why I see North Carolina beating Syracuse in this game. And we're not going to do a separate video for the championship. So who's your prediction for the champion between Oklahoma and North Carolina?
So I think in my matchup, Oklahoma matches up very well to North Carolina. North Carolina plays really well defensively inside with Bryce Johnson, Tyler Hicks, as aforementioned, but they do not defend the 3 well. And what does Oklahoma do? Rain 3s with Isaiah Cousins and Buddy Hield. I mean, Buddy Hield can basically rain 3s from anywhere on the court. He's basically like the Steph Curry of college basketball in that respect. So I think in this matchup, they're going to have to put all their pressure on Buddy Hield, and that leaves Isaiah Cousins and the bigs to make plays. And if you let that happen, then your defense is all out of whack. And I'm predicting an Oklahoma national title victory for the senior Buddy Hield.
I'm going to have North Carolina winning the national championship. I don't like to say it. I'm not a big Tar Heel fan, but this team is simply just too talented. I do agree that Oklahoma could beat them. I'm just not sure if Oklahoma can beat Villanova. If they do get over the hump of Villanova, I think Oklahoma should, at least my picture, should be the favorite to win the national title just because they're 3-point talent. But I think if a Villanova-North Carolina championship happens, I think North Carolina's just simply too good on defense and too efficient on offense to be stopped by. I mean, Villanova's not necessarily amazing at defense, and they're not necessarily amazing at offense. I mean, they're good all around, but so is North Carolina. North Carolina just does it better, so to speak. So I see a North Carolina national championship. Bryce Johnson takes it home to wherever they play, North Carolina.
Great job.
All right. That's it for us today at Sports Storm. See you in the next one. Comment what you want to talk about in the next video. Subscribe. Peace.